Today's video is going to be on these, which are called Baoding Balls, I think, or Chinese meditation balls, or also called iron balls. And basically you move them around in your hand. There's a whole lot of exercises you can do, and there's different sizes as well, different designs. And it basically means you can relax your hand, improve your mobility of your hand and fingers, dexterity, balance, all those things, especially for people who, play a lot of one musical instrument or are always on a keyboard, always using a mouse, always on their phone. Our hands get stuck in these unnatural positions, and it's good to mix it up. So that's the main benefit of this tool that I'm sharing with you today. They normally come in pairs, but you can also get triples, and some people use 4 at a time. They also have slightly different sounds, so and those sort of combine well when you're moving it around in your hand. Ideally, when you're doing this, obviously when you're a beginner, it'll just be like this maybe, but you get to the point where you can do it without them touching, and then you can get faster and faster. But yeah, generally you try to do it so that they're not touching. You could even have, like I said before, 3 or 4 in one hand or 2 in each hand. You can also balance them on the back of the hand, sort of like this kind of. Getting good takes consistency. I haven't used them recently, but in the past I was consistent, but you probably want to use them once a day. So I'll go through the positives, the pros. Makes a nice sound. There's the vibrations going on in there. It's very relaxing, similar to how wind chimes and the Tibetan singing bowls also make a nice sound. Then there's the builds dexterity and mobility in your hand, wrist, and fingers. Like I said, a lot of people spend a lot of time nowadays on devices with their hands in weird positions, typing, using the mouse on the phone, tablet, all that. This is a good way to mix it up a bit. Doing exercises like this would help balance out your wrist and hand health, and maybe get them moving normally again. You can also build up your ambidexterity by working on your weak hand. It would be helpful probably for professional musicians like piano players, maybe even sports players if you do a lot of tennis where you're kind of using one grip the whole time. And it probably could help people with carpal tunnel or arthritis in the hand or things like that, although that hasn't been my experience. That wasn't why I started using them. Now, negatives, I don't think there are any negatives for this product unless the price is too expensive, but you can pick them up for, I think, under $20 online. Haven't heard of any physical store locations that sell them, though. So would I recommend these? They're not essential, but if you're someone that spends a lot of time with your hand in fixed positions or your fingers in kind of fixed positions, a lot of time on the computer, then these would probably be a nice thing to have to use for just, a couple of minutes a day, mix things up a bit. Especially, it's like a long-term view of health, preventative medicine sort of logic. You don't want to have health issues in your hands later on in life, so use these, while you're young, and it might prevent further issues. There are strength versions which are made of steel, and they don't make any sound, and they're a lot heavier, so that's another option. You can also have stone versions with no metal, but they would break if you drop them on tiles or anything like that. There's some sort of Chinese medicine reason for them being made of stone. You can also just use billiard balls or even golf balls, or even like these kind of, not even sure what these are, just found them, rock type things. I've got a few other tips you can do for working on wrist, finger, hand health, which include the arm aid, which is this device here. So this is a self-massage device specifically for like forearms, upper arms. I think a lot of rock climbers use them. Some people who work out in the gym a lot use them. If you're exercising properly and doing like functional patterns, it's probably not necessary, but it's something I bought a long time ago. So there's that. There's also lacrosse ball. So you can, if you push this up against a wall like this, push really hard, you'll feel quite a good release in the forearm muscles. Another one is just a cork, wine cork. You can use that to massage parts of your hand. I used to have for a short amount of time, I did a kind of an intense office job, and so I learned all these tricks. Then there's this is the old mouse ball before they were electronic. So it's quite good for massaging different parts of the body. It's really hard. And then there's this power fingers, which is, I think I bought them in Australia. Basically, you put your fingers in and you do work like this. There's tons of different exercises you can do with them in different levels of strength. The purple one's the hardest to build up hand and wrist strength. So that was a review of these Chinese therapy balls, but I also covered some other things you could do if you're having wrist, forearm, hand, finger pain, things like that. So I hope that was helpful. Just one other thing that was on my list of things to mention was, I don't have it here to show you, but another thing you can do if you're dealing with hand pain is you can do a hand soak in like filtered water, magnesium chloride, borax, maybe add MSM as well. And those have magnesium's especially well known for helping with joint health, and so is the boron, which is in borax, and we're all deficient in magnesium, so that's another option. But I've got a separate video dedicated to that treatment.